Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Today is September 14th, 2022, and welcome to the Office of Community Redevelopment Agency's Certification Advantages and Veterans Entrepreneur Initiatives. We'd like to thank you all for coming and investing time in your business by listening to us speak today. We are scheduled to begin at 10. It is now 10:04, so we'll get started. My name is Antoinette Forbes. I am the Economic Development Manager for the City of St. Cloud. I also represent the St. Cloud Community Redevelopment Agency. If you allow me, I just want to give you a little bit of background before we get started. The CRA, or the St. Cloud Community Redevelopment Agency, was established in May 26, 2005 with the signing of an interlocal agreement between the city and Osceola County, and is considered a dependent taxing district established for the purpose of carrying out redevelopment activities that include reducing and eliminating blight, improving the tax base, creating and retaining employment opportunities, and encouraging public and private investments. The agency encompasses an area of slightly over 700 acres, which represents 13% of the city's overall area and includes approximately 1,300 parcels. The CRA is divided into 3 distinct districts, each with its own unique character and individually identified vision and goals. It consists of the Downtown, Central, and Gateway CRAs. The CRA was established by its local government and functions within that local government. In St. Cloud, the city council members plus 2 citizen resident business owners serve as the CRA board members. CRAs are specifically focused tool for redevelopment, and all funds raised during the CRA's creation and within its boundaries must be reinvested back into the CRA. CRAs have shown great successes in all across Florida by increasing property values, attracting new businesses, and retaining new jobs. Today's presenters are from the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, also referred to as PTAC, and the Veterans Entrepreneurship Initiative, also referred to as VEI. A little bit about both organizations. PTAC specializes in working with Florida government contractors to develop and hone their skills, knowledge, and abilities in targeting government contracts at the federal, state, and local levels. VEI. In 2013, military veterans Rafael Camoyo, Ricardo Garcia, and Gordon Hogan recognized the need in the veteran business community, the need for business guidance specifically for veterans in the entrepreneurial spirit. The 3 set out to establish a Veterans Center entrepreneurship program with the University of Central Florida's Business Incubation Program. With the direction of Hogan, they quickly found themselves serving a population of eager veterans in Central Florida, all wanting to launch and grow their business. This previously untapped entrepreneur group of veteran men and women grew in its own thriving program. The VEI's mission became very clear early on: to empower and support veteran entrepreneurs through business guidance, education, and mentorship. Since its inception, the founders understood veterans are equipped with a powerful set of tools, including leadership, attention to detail, teamwork, striving for excellence, and completing the mission, all traits that help entrepreneurs must have to succeed. The VEI team set out a mission to help veterans realize and leverage their powerful skill sets in an entrepreneurial setting. Now we'll start with our representative from PTAC, Ms. Kara Vernon. She's the procurement specialist for PTAC. And PTAC is a part of the Florida Network and Services in 8-county region. They provide free services, including one-on-one consulting, marketing, and business development support, research, and professional development. And with that, I'll introduce Ms. Kara. Are you there? And it looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty with Kara. So Rafael, if you don't mind, I'd like you to present first.
Sure.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I want to make sure that I give you presenter mode. One moment. Okay, are you able to? Yeah, we can see your screen, Raphael. Go ahead.
Perfect. Well, good morning, St. Cloud. Good morning, Osceola County. My name is Rafael Camano, and today I want to basically talk to you a little bit about BEI. Why did we establish BEI? Some of the things that we're doing, and what's next, right? What's next for not only our program, but for all veterans in the region. So like Antoinette mentioned before, we started this mission in 2013, basically after reading a book called Startup Nation. And we basically had a hypothesis that veterans have some great skills that civilian may not acquire right away when they start a business. So we were kind of betting amongst each other which group will do best, right? So with that recognition, we went ahead and started helping veterans while we were at the same time running the UCF Business Incubation Program. And so Thursdays and Saturdays, we found ourselves helping and coaching veterans that had an idea for a business, or perhaps they were in business, but their business was not doing that well. Like it was said earlier, our mission is to empower veterans and support veteran entrepreneurs and business owners through business guidance, education, and mentorship. And our vision is to become a national model and destination for veteran entrepreneurs. So our goal is to attract veterans from all over the region to come to Orlando, the metro area of Orlando, to not only learn about different skills, but also at the same time get to know other companies or veteran-owned businesses in the area. This is our first class that took place in 2017. So prior to that, it was pretty much pure business coaching and consulting. 2017, we had our first cohort. This is a little story about us, so you guys can see the background. In 2018, we had a second cohort, and we actually had a business pitch competition that took place in Lake Nona. And in 2019, we actually were able to get first and second place at a state level, but it was all for business pitch competition for veterans. So that we were very proud of that. And right after 2019, we decided to take the organization outside of the university and create a 501c3. The reason for that is that we by doing that, we have more flexibility and we can provide more tools to help our veteran population. Since then, we have been able to earn the trust of other organizations in town or in the state, such as Veterans Florida, Orange County Government, National Entrepreneur Center, FABOP, the state of Florida, Seminole State College, and most recently, St. Cloud, City of St. Cloud. So who do we serve? So we serve veterans, but within that population, we have a primary and a secondary target. So we're very good about helping companies that are making over $250,000 in revenue, or they've been already in business for over 2 years. That's our sweet spot. That's where we feel very comfortable. However, we do recognize there's a secondary target market out there for veterans that just have an idea. So we can help you take that idea from a concept to commercialization through various methodologies that we kind of teach through our cohorts. So these are some of the services that we provide. So we have an annual cohort or various cohorts throughout the year. We call them the BEI Launch and the BEI Scale Up. Launch is basically for those in the idea stage, and Scale Up are companies that are already they already have traction on the market. They're generating revenues, they have clients, but for some reason or another, they're not growing, or perhaps they want to grow and scale throughout the state, right? So we have the cohorts and the tools necessary for business owners to kind of like assess their situation and find ways to get to their next goal. We also provide monthly and quarterly workshops and networking events We also partner with the SBDC and SBA for those workshops and events. We do provide special programming. We have one coming up at the end of the month, basically teaching entrepreneurs and veterans how to pitch their business to investors. And we also have a business pitch competition coming up on May 11. Throughout all these services, we have tools to keep track of the progress of each veteran. We deploy Growth Wheel every time we encounter a veteran. And basically, these are online tools that can serve as a way to communicate with us and at the same time to keep each other accountable. And then once you go through all these one or all these services, we can offer business coaching, and that's unlimited, where we can meet with you weekly or monthly for about an hour or two. And all these services are complimentary thanks to our sponsors and partners. So what I want to show here is our economic impact. So in between 2013 and 2020, we served 350 veterans, and out of the 350, 75 actually went through the cohorts. And with that, those companies were able to generate at about $17 million in revenue. And moving forward, once we became a 501c3, so far in 2022, we have served 96 veterans, and 33 veterans have gone through our cohorts, and with a revenue over $6 million. The reason I point this out is so you guys can see that not only we're providing training and coaching, but we're also tracking the impact of the companies that we're serving, or companies that we send to other agencies such as the SBDC or PTAC office. This is very valuable for us and very valuable for the region. So that's why we track it. When these are the demographics of veterans that we have served, I want to go and point out the one on the top left, at least my left, the startup growth and idea. So you can see, who are the veterans that are coming to our program, and what level are they? So as you can see, a lot of them are in the idea stage, even though that's our secondary target market. And we do have a cohort for that. And then the growth is 30%, and that's for scale up. So these are the two cohorts that are coming up. We just started one last week, the VI launch, and the next one start in October 11. And to learn more about these cohorts, you can easily visit our website and sign up for them. Again, these are complimentary. They're typically 6 sessions, and we teach them or conduct the sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30 to 9 p.m. So we try to make it as easy as possible because a lot of us have obligations outside the norms, right? So if for some reason a veteran cannot commit to those hours, we can always switch that to an individual sessions where we can meet with you on a weekly basis so you can accomplish each of the sessions. And again, these are complimentary. These are some of the workshops that we have coming up. We partner with the SBA office and also with the SBDC. You're going to learn more about the PTAC office in a minute, but basically we don't do the same things that they do. If anything, we complement what they're doing, or we try to help them by talking to veterans about the topic, and then so when they get to the PTAC officer, they're ready to go, and it's easier on them and easier on the veteran. So we kind of lay out the path. This is the timeline, just so all of you can get a picture of what's happening between now and May of next year. On the top part, we have the VI launch, which started in September. The 6 represents 6 sessions. So we have one in September. We have another one coming up on March 2023. And we have another one in April. We have 2 scale-up cohorts coming up, one in October, one in February. And then these are the workshops that we're having on a monthly basis and networking event. And to learn more about them, you can visit bei.org. Some of them will take place in the city of St. Cloud. So we're looking at October 28th in January 26th to have 2 activities in St. Cloud. And the idea again is to make sure that we're taking care of veterans throughout the region. The city of St. Cloud and Osceola County has a huge number of veterans. And sometime, believe it or not, opening a business or running a business can help veterans transition from military mentality to civilian. And so it could be therapeutical. At the same time, it provides the veterans the opportunity to validate if what they're doing is right or wrong. Should they invest the money into this project, yes or no? So we can go through all those questions through our cohorts and assessment that we provide to them. And with that, I want to thank you for your attention. Please reach out if you have any questions. We're here to help. We work very closely with the City of St. Cloud and the local SBDC office, whether it's Rafael Prats, Karen, or Steve Sal. So we're here to help, and we're here to motivate and empower veterans for their new mission, right, outside the military. So thank you for the opportunity, and I welcome any questions.
At this time, if there are any questions, would you be so kind to put them in the chat box, and I will make sure that we get them answered. So while we are doing that, I wanted to make sure that we reiterate a really important point that you mentioned, Rafael, which was the city's partnership with VEI to really encourage our veterans to either become entrepreneurs or to help them scale up into the next level of their current business. Your services, while they are inexpensive, they are not for free. However, through this partnership with VEI, the city is willing to sponsor veteran businesses to participate in your program. And I think that's something that's really worth highlighting.
Yes, and thank you for pointing that out. And one thing about our program that may be a little bit different is that it's run by veterans. I was a veteran, or I'm a veteran. I serve in the active duty military, and so is my partners. And thank you for the opportunity, Antoinette, and for the City of St. Cloud, and we're here to help. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you all have a proven track record, not just in successful businesses, but also the economic impact of what your businesses have done for the region. You know, in economic development, we're all about, the data. And the data shows that you all have served over 300 veterans, that you have provided over 200 direct jobs. That you have helped assist in 17 million in revenues generated by the companies that you're able to assist. So, I mean, there's no disputing the numbers. You guys know what you're doing. And it's really our hope at the city that, our veterans take advantage of it, because as we've said many times, our veterans are the best of the best. And we want them to be able, as the Soldier City, to set up businesses here to really help with our economic sustainability.
Correct, and there's a lot of opportunities out there, especially in the Orlando area and the government space, and I'm sure that Karen will touch on that. So I encourage everyone in this call that if you're a veteran, or if you know someone that is a veteran and is interested in starting a business, or perhaps they need someone to look into their business to make sure that they're doing the right thing, to reach out to either the SBDC office or BEI, because we're here to help. And again, what a place, right, where you can get complimentary sessions and cohort thanks to our municipalities and counties. So you're in the right place at the right time, so take advantage of it.
Very well said. So with that, I will now introduce Kara. I believe that she is on, so allow me to do her quick introduction again. She is the procurement specialist for Florida PTAC at UCF, which is part of the overall statewide network that services over 8 counties. And they provide free services, including one-on-one counseling, marketing, and business development support, research, and professional development. They are the go-to once you become a certified business and ready to do business with the government. So Kara, are you on?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Excellent.
Yay. Well, let's see if sharing my screen works. And I apologize for my technical difficulties. Battery didn't want to charge this morning.
No worries.
Yes. Okay.
Screen.
Okay, you can see it now.
Yes.
Okay. So it's just my introductory side on how to do business with the government. That's what we're all about here. If I can get it to forward. Those are just the reminders. And this is just another summary, and you'll get a copy of these slides for you to retain. Just the difference between the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, and PTAC, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, which is what I'm in. We help with government contracting, but we also recommend that you utilize the SBDC because they have more consultants. There's only 2 of us in government contracting, and they can help with business plans, marketing, Google Analytics, helping you obtain financial loans and grants, and a whole plethora of opportunity there for no cost consulting for you. So please do take advantage of them. The other thing is that we have a website. We are part of, and it's attached to the SBDC Orlando /PTAC. You can find all the information about PTAC, and want to point out that we have a general list of potential action items, a capability statement primer, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. We also have an online training tool that is, once you sign up as a client, you can at no cost, you can take over 150 webinars, and some of them are live, but even then when they're live, they record them and then they offer them on demand as you would like to take them. Highly recommend using that tool. And as I said, that's offered to all of our clients. We have a resource links page with over 100 links related to government contracting, like sam.gov, like SBA, like VetBiz to register as a veteran-owned business. And then we have also the client registration link where you would go to complete the registration, and then we will reach out to you as to schedule an appointment. We also have a PTAC newsletter out there also. So let's just get to a little bit about government contracting basics. There's a lot of agencies that you can target with the government. Federal agencies, there's over 456 of them. State agencies just in Florida, so multiply that by 50. There's 36 in Florida. There's 67 counties in Florida. There's 411 municipalities and cities in Florida. And then you, of course, have your large prime contractors, your Northrop Grumman, your Lockheed Martin, your BAE Systems, and then all the small business contractors that you could sub to also. So sit back and add all those numbers up. You have, in the thousands of groups to target, to reach out to register on their vendor portals, to send them your capability statement, to introduce yourself, to attend their outreach, like you're doing right now with the city of St. Cloud. This is one of their outreach programs. So it's there's a lot of opportunities, but there's also over 1,000 ways to contact them. And so that's one thing to just make it perfectly clear. You have to start being focused as to who you want to target. Do you want to just target selling to St. Cloud, or do you want to target Kennedy Space Center because it's right next door? So a lot of things to consider. It is very overwhelming, and you have to have a lot of time to be able to register with all of the different agencies. And we help you with that. PTAC helps you with your certifications. I'm certified by the VA to help you get your VA verification completed. So a few things about government contracting. They're the largest target market in the world. They buy everything, or at least almost. And the main thing to remember, it's about compliance. And as you knew from being in the military, they wanted to do it a certain way, and you have to do it a certain way. And and same with government contracting. It's pretty much only one way. It's their way, the way the government wants the product. And yes, it's very competitive. You won't be the only business offering solutions to your targeted problems. It's not a quick fix. So what do you mean by that, Kara? Well, it's a marathon, not a sprint. In other words, if you're in need of getting cash into your business, it might not happen very quickly with the government. One could be delay in payment, but also the time it takes to get yourself registered and get into the system and find an RFP, a request for proposal to bid on, and then to go and actually win a contract. So if you're looking for cash to come in quickly, that's not always an easy way to go with the government. And the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway to remember is that relationships still matter. People don't buy from strangers. Even though you're doing everything electronically, these days you find the request for proposals, electronically online. You submit your proposal electronically. I mean, you could win a contract and go quite a few, go quite far along the path without ever really talking to anyone. But on the other hand, there may be quite a bit of talking that has to be done from at the very beginning and even before the RFP is released. So we'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. So this busy chart is some of the steps to take that both the SBDC and PTAC can help you with. So like the first row, embrace business best practices, is what you would get help with from the Small Business Development Center. The business plan, your financial plan, setting you up in QuickBooks, a marketing plan, written policies and procedures, and strategic planning. And all of that can be done coinciding with, you could meet one day or even the morning with SBDC, afternoon with PTAC, and we'd be helping you get you set up to actually do business with the government. You're going, well, how do I get positioned? Well, if you want to deal with the federal government, you would register in SAM.gov. That's the System of Acquisition Management. And you would register and you would receive a CAGE code. And CAGE code is commercial and government entities. So it's basically your social security number for your business, right? My Florida Marketplace, the MFMP, that's to be as a state vendor for Florida. And then there's Vendor Link. There's myvendorlink.com. You can register there and actually get RFPs sent to you directly from, I think for free, it's like 40 cities and counties in your geographical area would be at no cost to you. You can buy other ones to receive their RFPs. And I think it's like $10 per each one per year. And then there's federal certifications. So like on the federal side, there's definitely the VA, getting your SDVOSB or your VOSB. And then there's also woman-owned small business and drawing an economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business. And then to go in and get your 8A which would be minority type of businesses that then enter a business development program for 9 years to get set-asides. And so all of the federal certifications help you with getting in that magical pool of set-asides that the government awards, and you're only competing with all women-owned business compete for some awards, or veterans, it's only set aside for service disabled veterans. And the VA especially usually does most of their contracting with service disabled veteran-owned small businesses. There's also state and local certification. So that's the state would be at the My Florida Marketplace. You certify on there and you can get 3 different ones. So I highly recommend, and I can help you with this, is to get your Veteran Business Enterprise certification. And it's easier than getting the VA one, less documentation. You still have to upload it into My Florida Marketplace. And And they want things like a declaration of domicile. You have to prove that you actually reside and live in Florida. You have a Florida driver's license. You're a Florida company registered in My Florida Marketplace. You provide 2 years of your personal federal income taxes, a resume. For the veteran, that would be for the minority owned, and for women veteran, or I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over the words. MBE is minority business enterprise, and WBE is woman business enterprise. And then VBE is a veteran business enterprise. So the veteran business enterprise is just 3 steps to get it, where you register in My Florida Marketplace. You fill out a 2-page application, and your DD 214 and your letter of disability, and submit those, and boom, you've got the VBE at the state level. And to get the MBE and the WBE, if your company has all 3, then there's more information that you would have to submit. It's a separate application. So that's a lot of time and decision making as to how you have set up your company. Your company must be 51% owned by veterans. Now it can be 2 veterans, 3 veterans, could be 5 veterans, 4 of them 10% owner and 1 at 11% owner. Any way you want to configure it. It would make a difference if, say, you did have several veterans as owners. If, say, if it's split between 2 veterans and one is 50%, both are 50% owner, and one's just is not disabled and one is disabled, then you wouldn't qualify as you'd qualify it as a veteran-owned small business, but because it's 50-50 and not 51%, you would not qualify as a service-disabled veteran-owned small business. So you have to think about that as you're setting up your business, as to take advantage of that. And I've spent a lot of time talking with companies, and especially husbands and wives that go into business together, and maybe they're both military, but one's service disabled, and they want to do it 50-50, but they start thinking about it. Well, we might get more business if we, split it 51-49, and the service disabled veteran takes the lead. So that's all something that you have to think about before you start your certifications. So the 3rd row, initial government contracting marketing toolkit, is a really wonderful thing to get you started, to really have you look professional when you go out and outreach and are talking to the small business liaison officers at the prime contractors, or the small business specialist at the federal government agencies. So a few things on that. A market research discipline. So what that means is that you spend time, as you target, say you wanted to target Kennedy Space Center. So then you would read up on their website, and you'd start attending their outreach that they have the 10:30 on Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month, to learn more about how they do business, who the primes are, what they're looking for, and all of that, to see if you actually fit in and can provide some assistance. You need to create a baseline capability statement, and PTAC can help you with that. It's basically just a large business card, but there's some key things that you have to make sure that you have included on there, like your NEX codes, what category of business that you're in, that you have state core competencies, that you state differentiators, why you're better than the other, 15 businesses that are trying to sell the same thing. I left one out. Oh, and then your past performance. And the past performance can also be founder's experience. So say if you just got out of the military and you're wanting to sell the same type of things that you possibly had been doing in the military, then you can talk about that instead of past performance. Because if you haven't won any contracts yet, but you still have the skill set as being the owner and the founder of the business, to put that experience on there. DSBS profile. This is a SBA website. in database, and it's dynamic small business search. And what it does is when you register in SAM and you get your cage code, it pulls a lot of information and designates from your next codes the category that your business is in. It will throw you into the DSBS profile, but it'll also give you an opportunity to add additional marketing information. Like there's two boxes, one that's your capabilities narrative, different from the capabilities statement. A capabilities narrative is 525 characters of marketing that you can do about your company. And also those words would be a keyword search type of thing for either a government contracting officer or a large business, or even PTAC uses it, or even you use it to find your competitors or find maybe a subcontractor off of the keywords. So say if you were doing facilities or looking for a company to help you with, facilities maintenance, you would put in the search and find, business that's in Florida, and you could drill it down to zip code or county within Florida to find companies that could help you. And we help you with that. There's a lot of different information that is put in separately from the sam.gov. And sometimes it's down when you register for your cage code. So we'd be happy, if you already have a cage code, be happy to sit down with you and review your SBA profile. And that's what it's called when it's the DSBS. So the other one is to have an online presence. Do you have a website? Do you have, are you on LinkedIn? Is your company on LinkedIn? Are you personally on LinkedIn? Are you on Facebook, Instagram? However, which social media is appropriate for you to be using for your business. And then the next box, the elevator speech. How do you, are you ready at, at a moment's notice to turn to somebody and give a 30 to 60 seconds little speech, in a nutshell, what is your business? And we will help you practice with that and give you suggestions on making that as clear and concise as possible. The other thing is, the last one is the basic branding elements. Signature blocks. Very frustrating for a contracting officer, somebody you want them to reach back to you, and you don't have your phone number on your email. So they only have your email. They want to pick up the phone and call you, and it's not down at the bottom of your in your signature block. Highly recommend that you come up with a very formal signature block with your logo, having your website on there, and most importantly, having your phone number on there. Because of course they can reply back to you with email, but if you're getting to that point where they want to reach out by phone, make sure that on your initial emails and in any of your replies, your phone number's on there. I can't reinforce that enough as to, in today's busy times, to have that. It's also really good to have it where it's just clickable. If they're using their phone, they can just click on it and it dials automatically. Wonderful, wonderful marketing tool. So the last row is business development. There are reactive strategies to searching for business development, and there's proactive strategies. So a reactive would be bulletin boards. And a bulletin board was initially actually just that, a bulletin board outside of the different contracting offices that they would, paste paper up on the, tack paper up on the wall, and runners would come by and find out what opportunities there were and distribute that information to their back at their company locations. Today it's all online. To deal with the federal government, you would go to sam.gov and look up contracting opportunities to be able to find what's out there. Florida PTAC is a service we pay for, and it's no cost to you. This thing called Bid Match, where we put in your keywords for your business, and you will get from 5 different databases, not only sam.gov, but one that's called Subnet, 2 different DLA database, other small purchases with the federal government, and then the most important one to me is the this is the only place I can get it is through BidMatch, is the state and local opportunities, and that's very helpful. And your business may be one that you don't need to just stick with local counties and cities, so you would maybe want it to do the all 50 states. And the interesting thing lately that they've really also started adding is European Union coming, the EU. Opportunities pop up on that from that, and of course NATO and the embassies. So you can actually get opportunities all across the world that fit to your keywords directly into your inbox, your mailbox. And of course, this would all be reactive because you're just finding out about it when it's after the RFP has been released. Well, proactive business development strategy is for you to find out about it while the government's still thinking about doing it, and help them shape the opportunity, help them shape the RFP. So you know about it, you're planning about it, you're building a team, you're realizing, oh, I can't be a prime on it, but I can do a portion of it. So let me go find somebody I can team together with, and then we can bid on it in the future when the RFP drops. And of course, your target accounts that we've talked about, potential teaming partners. You need to think about having a weekly call plan, who you're going to reach out to, and doing, whether it's 5 companies a day, 5 people you call every day, or you just do a list on weekly call plan that you just pick Mondays or Wednesdays that you're going to make all of your calls, but come up with some kind of format and structure to really be hitting pounding the pavement is what this part is the weekly call plan, to keep churning and keep refreshing and keep getting new business coming in. And then the biggest part of business development, probably in some ways the most important, is your RFP response process. How are you going to put the proposal together? Do you have the in-house resources to do that? We through Govology and some webinars that we put on, PTAC puts on, there's a lot of opportunity for training in the proposal process. So there's a lot of things to think about, to get you started. So the next thing is, are you committing to best practices? Do you have a budget discipline? Do you have a forecast, KPIs and dashboard, a formal hire and onboarding process, succession planning? Do you have a strong number 2 as you grow? Do you have a personal development plan? Do you have written policies and procedures and a strategic planning process? And if you notice, most of those are things that the Small Business Development Center can help you out on. And yes, they can help you with formal hiring and onboarding process. They can get you into the intern program at UCF in Valencia to help you get additional, employees at a very low wage, or and part-time. A lot of opportunities through the SBDC to help your business grow. And the main thing is, we've talked about with Govology, you need to embrace education. I've been in government contracting for over 30 years, and it continually changes. The fundamentals stay the same, but the way we do the business has changed dramatically. When I started, you did the reps and search, what you register in sam.gov was paper. It was a very long process. We get very frustrated with doing it online and the time it takes, because you kind of invest an hour and a half with it. And this year they changed it to having where you have to actually prove that you're located where you're located and that you have an office, and you cannot have a virtual office. The government won't, the federal government does not like virtual offices. So all of that's changed. When I think back when I started, I think that's all I did for the first year in government contracting was fill out reps and certs that I would send back to all of the businesses that we were doing. I was in the semiconductor world, so we, semiconductors are in everything. So we were, it was a lot of the paper process was very heavy. So anyway, but I got a little off track, but it's very helpful to know that you will continually have to learn. So some of the opportunities for learning is the SBA has a government contracting online classroom that I highly recommend you checking out. PTAC, as I said, we have three different series of webinars. We have the expert speaker series. Like this week, we just had Monday, we had how to do business with Blue Origin. If you're interested in building the next space station, or the Blue Moon, going to the moon and living and working on the moon. We did one in July on cybersecurity, and monthly, Ed Ramos from the SBA here, the region in Central Florida, does a monthly SBA workshop and does really good presentations. And I have a slide further on as to what he has coming up. Several for veterans, and monthly, rain or shine, the first Wednesday of every month at 9 a.m. PTAC does a government contracting overview. Some of these slides that you're seeing now, so you're getting a shortened version of that, and we actually do a deep dive and live. We take somebody's cage code and actually look up their SBA profile in the dynamic small business search, which is a very helpful for a group of people to sit and watch that. It's good for the people that haven't registered yet, and it's good for the people to be able to review theirs and see how they could be selling themselves better. The SBDC has a lot more, there's more people, so they have a lot more webinars than PTAC does. So there's plenty of opportunity to select different a game plan for you, developing a written plan on what you need to target to grow your business and the education that you need. A really unique one that we have is Govology, and it's no cost for PTAC clients, and it's got over 150 webinars that you can do on demand. A few of them will be live, but then they'll be pushed over into being on demand. And I highly recommend that for you to come to us. If you don't do anything else, just come and get the coupon code for Govology. It's really worth it. There's other resources like GSA.gov has training also on it. NCMA is a National Contract Management Association, and they do a lot of government training. That's their whole focus, especially within contract management. And then you'll find a lot of opportunities on YouTube. As a matter of fact, SBDC Orlando has a YouTube channel. You can Google that, you can see our success stories for clients. We have cybersecurity videos out there, recordings of webinars that we've done, even some on proposals, a whole plethora of opportunities for training on that. And as I said, it's really good to develop a written plan and hold yourself accountable to learn. And also think about it from like the Govology, as you're hiring and you're needing to bring people in that maybe you're not hiring another veteran that doesn't really know anything about government. It's a great opportunity to train your employees. And that's additionally no cost for no matter how many people you have in your small business. So, okay, as I said, here are some of our upcoming events. So next, at 1 o'clock today, the SBA can help you, how the SBA can help you achieve the American dream. So that would be a very good one to listen to if you have the opportunity at 1 this afternoon. This one in 2 weeks on cash flow by the SBDC. And as I said, we have our government contracting overview. And then the next SBA workshop, October 12th, is on veteran surplus property program. And that's really important thing to learn about, especially if you're into manufacturing, or if you need desk or racks or a backhoe or whatever the government is surplusing, then you can pick those items up. And there's the link for registering. And here's additional ones of the SBA workshops. So SBA resources for veterans on November 10th. Highly recommend sitting in for that. And then what to expect in fiscal year 2022. I think that should have been 2023. But those are all of Ed Ramos's seminars that webinars he's going to be doing through the end of the year. So just a little bit on getting positioned for government contracting. Register. Got to spend a lot of time registering. And most of all government agencies require you to register to do business with them. Now, like if you wanted to do business with the Patrick Space Force, the old Patrick Air Force Base over in Brevard County, you go out to their website, you download an appointment request form, and you email them the request form and your capability statement, and then they would call you. So they don't do the normal registration like on SAM, but other agencies may do something different. So you have to target and find out and look at each government agency or each base or I've been even helping someone lately, locating the BXs to sell something to. So each group that you want to sell to has a different website. Register for sam.gov if you're looking to do business with the federal, or My Florida Marketplace for the state and local. And as I said, vendor link. And there's then these are all live links that you can click on to actually go out and register yourself on those. Or you book an appointment with Steve South or myself, and we can walk you through all of that. There's other government entities and many major primes. So if you wanted to sell to Lockheed Martin, you need to register in their vendor portal. So if you're in their database, they may not reach out to you in a week or 2 weeks, but a couple of months down the line, they may just reach out, say, hey, we need this. Can you provide it? The other thing registering does is that it lets people go and do contracting officers or primes to go and search databases, find you and reach out to you. I have a staffing company in Kissimmee that was on these databases, and a prime was looking for a woman-owned, minority-owned, to click off the different small business certifications, and found her company on either My Florida Marketplace, what was the other place, or the Dynamic Small Business Search. We're not sure which one, but found her on there, reached out, and she won a 5-year contract. Has just totally turned her business around. I mean, just very lucky, but it's because she got all of her certifications, was registered on all of the different websites, and they found her and came to her. That's where you really, so that's really being proactive. She set herself up for that success. And here are some of the socioeconomic certifications. The percentages are increasing. The government is definitely going to increase the 8A certification. 5% will be increasing over the next few years. So will woman-owned, and I believe veteran-owned too. The government is really trying to push to increase all of those in their budgets. This is just a little bit, we've talked a little bit about this before as to the FLOSD CBE is the veteran-owned business enterprise, the minority business enterprise, and the woman-owned, the woman business enterprise. So the WBE, MBE, and VBE are all under the CBE, certified business enterprises at the state level. And so you can see this is through the My Florida Marketplace. And as we talked a little bit on the previous slides, developing a basic marketing toolkit. So this gives you a good list of things that you need to do, the SBA profile, the signature block on your business card, your elevator speech, having a strong internet presence. So, and also if you also sell commercially, because I know some veteran companies only are going to plan on selling to the government. So your website would definitely show that. But if most of your business is commercial and you're now trying to get into the government, once you get a cage code, once you have a capability statement, I highly recommend you creating another tab on your website that's government services or just government, and you have a downloadable capability statement. You show your cage code, your next codes, and really sell yourself that and show them that you're ready to do business with the government. It's very helpful to do that, and the contracting officers are going to go back and research you and look at you. That's one of the things on their checklist that they've kind of where they're checking off that you're to be able to award the contract to you. They have to say that they've gone and looked at your website, looked at your DSA, dynamic small business search profile. So the best that you can have all of those, and the strongest, the better off you are. And then of course the capability statement. And this gives you a good picture of what a capability statement looks like. Shouldn't be this plain, but this is just a guideline as to what things need to be on there. As I said before, you need to have an area of core competencies. You need to have past performance. You need to have state differentiators. You need to have your next codes on there, a little bit about your company, your logo. Some people put their picture on there. You also want to keep it your branding from your website, your capability statement, your business card, and even your signature block. You want to have it in the same colors. You want to have your logo on there. To create a theme that this is, like the Nike swoosh. You've got, when everybody can recognize that that's you. And we can provide, PTAC can provide examples and help you and review your draft capability statement to get it as strong and as best as it can be. And you can also see the little blue box here, it says multiple versions. You can, say you're doing two different things that are kind of mutually exclusive, saying you're doing facility maintenance and you're also selling IT products. Kind of don't really fit together. So you could actually have two different distinct capabilities, one for your IT and one for your facilities maintenance. Or you can have, or a third version where it's combined. But, and then you choose which one you send out depending on who you're marketing to. So here's for you to take away. It's your get position checklist of things that you should be doing. Register in SAM, My Florida Marketplace vendor link. Go out and get your socioeconomic certification, complete your DSA profile, develop a strong baseline capability statement, Remember the capability statement, because it has your past performance on it, you want to make it as strong as possible. And so it's basically, try to think of it, it's a living document. As you grow, you'll want to continue to update it and make your capability stronger, your capability statement stronger, because of, maybe when you first put it out, you've only got about $100,000 worth of business on it. Well, now you're in the $5 million range. So you need to kind of show that. And we can give you examples, and you can just Google whatever industry you're in and then say capability statement and see what pops up to see how your competitors are doing. But don't copy them verbatim, and they may not be doing the capability statement right when you do that when you do a search. I found quite a few capability statements that need a lot of help. But on the flip side, it's a really good way to, when you Google competitors' capability statements, you can find some next codes that, I didn't think about that one, or some other opportunities. You might get a good vision of different things that you hadn't even thought about from looking at your competitors. Branding elements we've talked about. You need to adjust your online presence for government contracting. If you're just starting out, then build the government contracting, or if you already started as commercial, you need to add the government contracting to your online presence. And of course, develop a baseline elevator speech. And I already talked a little bit about BidMatch. This is another free service to you, well worth spending an hour with PTAC to get this, and Govology. So it's does federal, state, and local postings, and it says consolidated into a weekly email. Well, that's not really true. Some companies, because of what they're doing, their business, there's a lot of opportunities. So you would get daily emails. I was just looking with one company that was, IT, and yesterday he received an email with 143 opportunities. Now, it takes time to go through all of those, but then another type of business might only get one opportunity every 2 weeks or something. So it all depends on what you're selling and what you're targeting, and also tweaking the keywords that we put in there. Because if you put in just program management, you can get a lot of things that you may not want to program manage. But it's a really good way to start off figuring who to target. I highly recommend doing this right off the bat, and so you can see who's buying what you're selling. It's a really good resource tool. And to always remember, there's more to learn. There's many aspects of compliance, reading and understanding of the solicitation, pricing strategies, developing a proposal, next level business development skills and tools, managing a contract, understanding teaming relationships, and many more, maybe even getting into the Mentor Prodigy program. And this is just a repeat of that slide. Potential next steps, visit and review our website, draft content for a capability statement. Think about what your core competencies are, your differentiators. Look up what your next codes. I should add that in here. Past performance, founder's experience, and any of your company information. Within Govology, they actually have a section on government fundamentals, which is, I think that's up to like 13 webinars that you can look through and take. Now, if you're already registered in SAM, one of them is on how to register in SAM. So you may not need to take that one. But it's a good base on how to start selling to the government. So of course, schedule a meeting with PTAC or contact UCF SBDC counselor Raphael Pretz. He's located in the Kissimmee Chamber of Commerce, close by to you. So your next step should be the SBDC if less than 2 years of generating revenue, business isn't currently profitable, you do not have a formal commercial marketing plan, if you're in need of a quick fix or infusion of cash, Limited capacity for a lot of reading and writing. You can see from what I've shown you today as to how much is out there for you to read, how many writing, how many certifications, and registering in vendor portals, and then of course creating the proposals. There's a lot of writing that goes into doing business with the government. So you also, if you don't have adequate capital access yet, the SBDC can help you with that. You don't have a business plan of some kind that's not just in your head. Everybody has a business plan, but it's really a business plan. It's not really a business plan until you take it out of your head and put it on paper. So to do these, if you answered yes to any of these, do reach out to Raphael Prats at the SBDC in Osceola County. And here are some of the services that the SBDC provides. Formation and governments, including board meetings, know your numbers, your EIN, your DUNS number, your NEXT codes, supporting your network. Do you have a bail team? A bail team is a banker, accountant, insurance, and legal, a lawyer. Do you have access to all of those? Have you figured out your team from that standpoint, that at any time when you need support, you can reach out to them? Do you have a current business structure and staffing? Do you have the capacity to do the business? That's a real key one. This is a lot of veterans are working a full-time jobs as you set up your business, and do you have the capacity to do that, to be able to do all the things that you're needing to do? Do you need an intern to help you to fill out different documents and do some research for you? SWOT analysis of your current business, marketing plan for commercial markets. Do you have current networking activities that you're doing? Do you go to the Chamber of Commerce meetings? Scalability. Do you have a quality assurance plan, a safety plan in place? And the other one that should be listed on here, a cybersecurity plan. Those are all things that you need to think about, and cybersecurity is a really big deal, especially right now if you're going to sell to the federal government. 36-month financial pro forma. Do you have a financial forecast? Do you have a path to a strategic plan? So if you answer yes, that you need any of these, reach out to Raphael Prats, not Raphael that's on this call, but Raphael Prats at the SBDC. So here's some of the things about the Osceola County services. Consulting, no cost, expert confidential, one-on-one, no cost market research, special programs for second stage businesses, business training seminars and webinar. And we can also do a WooRank report run against your website to see if you are doing the best utilization of SEOs. And here is the location of where the Chamber of Commerce is on Vine Street. The PTAC at UCF team consists of 2 people, so be patient with us because we are busy. So it's Steve South and myself. So now I'm going to open it up to questions if anyone has any questions to ask.
Thank you, Kara. I know there have been some questions that were asked in the chat box. So I just want to reiterate them. One of the questions asked was about copies of the slides. We will be providing this presentation, the recording of this presentation in its entirety to all attendees. That will include the slides as part of it. It should take about a day or 2 for it to go out, but the recording of this presentation will be available. One of the other questions was contact information. I included Kara and Raphael's contact information in the chat box, along with their email address and phone numbers for anyone who is interested in reaching out to them directly. Are there any other questions that were not in the chat box? You can either raise your hand or ask click the chat box question, we are available. And so while we're waiting on those questions, I want to reiterate that both presenters are providing services that are either free of service, or in the case of the VEI is of no cost to St. Cloud businesses. I want to reiterate that because I think it's really important to recognize how important it is that the city feels we encourage our existing and future entrepreneurs to participate in some fashion as a business owner. I think there was a question I see about putting contact information for the SBA. So that we do have a local SBA rep. His name is Lonnie Kimura. He is available. We will make sure that his contact information is also included as well. And I want to make sure while we are waiting that you also have my contact information if I'm able to talk and click buttons at the same time. So once again, my name is Antoinette Forbes. I am the Economic Development Manager for the City of St. Cloud. That responsibility includes all businesses within the city's geographic boundaries. And my contact information is on the screen. Feel free to either call or email me. Once again, I will include contact information for all of the participants, not just in the chat box, but we will also make sure that information is sent out to you when you receive the recording. If in fact they are no other questions that I don't see here, I encourage you to have a wonderful remaining rest of your week. Feel free to reach out to any one of us directly. And if you don't know who you want to reach out to any of us, and we will find you the correct point of entry. So with that, have a super duper day, and thank you for joining us.